Hey guys, round two of Beer League. This time we are at Mount Panorama, also known as Bathurst. This will be back-to-back difficult tracks, and much like Oran Park, this is a very narrow track and a decent-sized car. Um, it's a little bit longer, which can help in ways, help extend the field or spread out the field, I should say. But it also leads to a lot of like accordion effects. So as usual, we'll go through the corners one by one, and then at the end we will do an onboard. So turn one, first turn and last turn are pretty basic, 90 degrees, but you can gain and lose a ton of time off of these corners. Backing up here, we're gonna break right before the 50. I actually am showing you guys not my fastest lap because it was faster in every way except for this first and the last corner, which I don't know, was slow, I guess. Yeah. So, up on the curb here, it's not a terrible thing, but you typically don't want to do that. It's not the end of the world. But our whole purpose in life right now is this is a huge straightaway. And every bit of exit speed that we get from here just carries this entire length. So exit speed here is critical. Because of that, go ahead, back up your braking point a little bit. You don't want to dive too deep. And you can see right here, I'm already almost all the way on the gas. And then as soon as I kind of straighten out, I'll show you a better view of that actually on my next lap. But try to get on the accelerator as quick as possible because, like I said before, super long straightaway. All we're doing is gaining time here or losing time here, kind of depending on what you want. All right, so these next two corners you should consider them similar to the last corner at Oran Park, where it's not off camber, but the line that you want to take is more cambered than offline. And so the difference between being here where I'm not is really fast, and this is, oh my god, I'm slow. Very important to really try to maximize the width of the track. I'm going to try to learn length and width as we go through this. The width of the track to maximize speed. So as we come up, anywhere in between the end of this line and just before the 50 is an appropriate braking spot. So you can see I'm like right there. Again, this is not something you want to push because if you go offline, you just lose so much time. Really try to get your right side tires here. I'm a little bit off, but I don't wash out too bad, so not a big deal. Now, this is a corner that seems difficult at first, and if you're new to the track, you're new to the combo, the first thing you want to do is lift and or brake here. This is dangerous, especially going to be lap one. If you are lifting and braking right here, and someone behind you knows that they can take it flat, you're just going to get ass blasted, and then you're going to hit this wall. And here and right after this corner is where most of the traffic jams that you see at Bathurst end up. People slow down too much here. Other people hit them. We're going 2 wide, 3 wide, and it just turns into a giant mess. So really think about keeping this flat out, and then as soon as you get through the corner, we're going to aim. You see this corner right here? We're going to aim anywhere over here. It kind of depends on where your car is. But if you look down here, my wheel is straight. And that's important. So we want to turn in, right? So we're turned in. We straighten our wheel as we get on the brakes. And so that's going to carry us out here. We don't want to hold this tight. Again, we want to maximize the track by being as far as wide as we can. And then we're going to cut it in super duper tight. And this is my favorite corner on the track by far. You can gain so much time by really committing on your turn in and being very aggressive. And so you can see how close I am to the wall here. Again, this is so much steeper of an angle than out here. If you are out here at all, you're just going to be losing a lot of time. So really try to maximize this apex, get as close as you can. Obviously don't hit it. I don't need to tell you guys that. And this is a weird little spot. So if you come out and you're on this side of the track, and this is more than just the Mustang, by the way. In fact, the Mustang's not too bad in it. You're going to go over like a decent little bump, and you're going to kind of lose grip. So kind of be warned about that lap one, it's not a huge deal, but typically try to push out wide just a little bit here. See how I go out here? I'm not sitting right here. And that'll help kind of alleviate that. I still got a little bit loose. Now this is another corner that is completely flat. If you take the line right, if you take the wrong line wrong, then it's not even that it's not flat, you're gonna die. If you don't track out wide here, what's gonna happen is your car is gonna be angled straight towards this wall, and there's nothing you can do other than slam on the brakes, and then again, someone behind you is gonna just kind of pack it in. I don't know, it's gonna be a pain train. Last little logo right here, that's what we're aiming for. Once the tires are warm, everything that we're seeing here is completely flat. So that means from the time that we get on the gas here, we stay flat the entire time. So work on your lines, because staying flat is going to keep your times on. This is a big time difference between having to lift and brake and not. If you try to do this lap one, though, good luck. You're going to smash into every wall. So make sure we're a little bit careful lap one, and understand that you do have to lift and maybe even like tap the brake to get it to rotate lap one. As we come to the very top of the mountain, as soon as we hit the top, we are going to lift here. Okay, it's not a full lift. It is if you don't hit it right, but 3/4 of a lift. So I guess I did do a full lift. I kind of get bounce on the throttle. You can touch this curb, that's fine, but this curb is the curb of death. It is going to kill so many people here, and I'm going to laugh at every single person that dies. It's kind of hard to see from this angle, but there's definitely like a lip, and this is elevated. So you're going to upset the car. You're going to lose grip because you go in the grass, and half of you guys are going to crash into this wall. The other half are going to spin back into the track and cause a traffic jam right here. God, I just thought I'm going to be part of that. That sucks. All right, anyways. Now we're entering the downhill. Okay, so this is the most dangerous part of the track, obviously. It's hard to get on the brakes. It's hard to carry a lot of speed, but I don't know, let's just go through it. So before we hit the crest, we're on the brakes, pretty hard, not all the way. This right here, this curb is deceptive. So you'll see a lot of people go around. You can go over this curb, but if you are using a lot of wheel input and brake input and using the curb, that's where it gets really sketchy. So you're going to notice that as I go over this curb, I have to turn because it's a corner. So I lift completely off the brake and straighten the wheel. I have zero input right now. I am brake, turn in, and lift completely. And then once I get off, like once you see the left tires come back on the ground, I immediately get on the brake. So going over it again, we're going to be hard on the brake. We're going to turn in and then straighten the wheel out and then back on the brake and the tires again. This is an easy corner to overshoot, which we don't want to do because if we're out here, this corner is so sharp and you're going to lose so much time. So just like I'm doing here, and you'll notice this is a common theme. We want to be as far inside as we can, and not just for the apex, but we're holding it all the way through the corner. All the way through. I'm right on that curb. Why? Because we don't have to rotate the car as much. It means we're faster. There's a lot of grip here on after we kind of load the suspension. So trust it. I guess kind of like know where your car's at. But if you notice that you're going the right way, trust that this car is just going to rip just like that. And then this part's easy. We want to hold this inside again because the last corner is very difficult. So I'm all the way over the whole time, heavy on the brakes right before the Falcon sign. And then, as usual, super tight. The second most common thing here is people not being tight here. They push out wide, they hit hard right here. It's not going to be too bad because we have repairable damage, but I would say like a majority of races that end at this track are because of like this square right here. And this is pretty easy. Push the loud pedal. And as you go through here, this is, again, flat, not a big deal. Make sure if you're going single wide, go wide. The reason is, as usual, we kind of want to just not push out wide. You can see I have just a little bit of wheel input. I'm not cranking the wheel. Right at the 150 here, heavy on the brakes. Okay, heavy on the brakes. Downshift, downshift. And then here, it's easy to carry a lot of speed, so you can kind of hit the curb like I did. You don't have to hit it as hard as I did, but either way, as long as we're holding left, that's good. If we're pushed out too far right and we're angled this way, this is not flat anymore. But as long as you did what I did there, or even better, then you can hold this flat pretty easy. And like we talked about here, this is a 90-degree corner. Braking point's kind of weird, depending on the... First of all, my graphics are... I don't know if it's because it's cloudy and just whatever, but I don't know. The graphics look really weird right now. Normally these cones are bright orange, and right now they look kind of like brown and piss yellow. I don't know. But we're going to go after the 100, definitely before the traffic pole. I would say about the 75. Definitely play with this one. It's kind of up to you. And carrying speed is very importante. So before we go to the onboard, I am going to show one more thing. And that is... So the most important thing when you run this track is to remember to always add enough fuel so that at the end of the race you can do one more lap. And the reason is you got to hit the jump. If you don't hit the jump, I don't know what to tell you. You failed in life. You're a terrible human being. And honestly, you probably shouldn't be allowed in this league. So now that we got that out of the way, the tip and trick for the jump is not to hit the middle part. Okay? Again, graphics kind of suck. I wish the lighting was better here. But there is a lip right here. Let's see if we can see it in cockpit. Where's that at? Right there. Right here is the lip. We want to be just to the left of it. If you go off to the right, you're going to hit the right side barriers as we go over. But if we're just to the left of it, you can't even see the armor all sign from the cockpit view. Again, I can't find it, right? You can't see it, but as you go over, you notice you're straight on. So again, coming over left of the hump, straight over, far chase, and be more talented than me because I could not save it. Because I'm a loser. Anyways, and now we will watch my second fastest lap for an onboard. All right, so that's the lap guide. I hope that was helpful for you guys. Shout out to Mac. Hope you're doing good with hurricanes, forest fires, and earthquakes all happening at the same time. Yeah, I hope you're doing good, man. Everyone else, I will catch you Wednesday.